calling all my footy fans from all around the globe. Straight out of NYC, this is The Line Breaker.
Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to The Line Breaker. My name is Pano.
I'm Demetri, aka Juicy.
And we are back to preview and give you your thoughts, not your thoughts, give you our thoughts on what's going to go on in this Premier League weekend. So, last week was something, and by something I mean I was not a happy camper. That's for sure.
Why's that?
Let's just say that one of my worst predictions of last weekend was Chelsea to win 3-1.
Yeah, Chelsea's not great this year. Could be relegated. Off chance, but could be relegated.
Safe to say that I'm not going to be as kind to the Blues this weekend. Regardless, though, Demetri, how are you feeling about last week's results?
I think my predictions did well, especially later on, but I did get that City one wrong. It was looking good until it wasn't.
Hey, man, look, too big to fail. That's why I see City. I'm happy to say that if you got onto the Callum Hudson-Odoi stocks early like I did, then you're definitely doing well right now. Scored a banger this weekend. You saw that goal. Come on, I know you did.
Don't think I did. I think I missed that one.
Did you actually miss the Callum Hudson-Odoi goal for Nottingham Forest?
Yeah, I think I missed that one.
You're useless. Anyway, they should have come out with a result, or should have come out with a win. I thought that they dominated Burnley, but hey, man, it is what it is. What are we gonna do? So to recap, I think Demetri did better than I did in regards to his predictions. This week, though, it's a new week, a new opportunity for us to get some picks. We are now in game week. What game week is this? 6? It's game week 6, unless you're Luton and Burnley. So yeah, game week 6. We got some big games. There's gonna be some fun games. We got a couple of London derbies, and some fun matchups. So we're not gonna go too crazy giving you predictions for this weekend. We're gonna skim through and pick some of the ones that we think are interesting, and we'll take it from there. So we're going to start things off with the first match of the day for Saturday. That is a London derby, Crystal Palace versus Fulham. And this has draw written all over it for me.
Yeah, I could see this being a draw. I think it's going to be... if you're a neutral and you don't know, it could be an exciting match, though. I do not see a scoreless draw in this match. Could see a 1-1 or a 2-2.
It's important to note that Crystal Palace have a lot of injuries. Although they are high flying, they have a lot of injuries, including one of their leaders in defense, and that is Mark Gahey, I should say. Andre Ayew, Jefferson Lerma, Tompkins, they're all hurt. So, and new signing Mateus Franca also seems to be injured, whereas on the other side, Anthony Robinson is injured for Fulham, and he's day-to-day. He is day-to-day, so it all really depends, but overall, I think this is going to be a draw. This has draw written all over it for me, but this isn't... I wouldn't say this is the most attractive matchup of the day. The next game that's coming up is a relegation battle at Kenilworth Road. That's Luton's ground, right? Kenilworth Road? Did I get that right? Kenilworth Road. Relegation battle between Wolves and Luton Town. Have you given much thought into this fixture?
I think I was wrong last week because I did predict that Luton was going to get points, but this is the week. Home.
Second home game so far.
To a not-so-great Wolves team. I think they'll be able to get some points in this game.
I could honestly see it too. Especially if this Wolves team really is going to get relegated, like I'm so confident they will. I think this is the time for Luton to take points. So I'm going to give that. We're going draws right now. Okay, so that's what we're going to go for there. Next game, my boys, Nottingham Forest. You got to root for someone, right? Versus Manchester City. One-way traffic, right?
One-way traffic, pretty much. The entire game. Easy victory for Man City in this one.
Now, the one takeaway that I want to take from this game, and it's something that I think we haven't thought too much about so far, just because I think they've gotten a little lucky so far, and that is, for City, the only threat right now is injuries. That is the only threat, I think, to their title defense. Their squad, as long as they keep everyone healthy, I think that there's no reason why they can't win this league at a canter. But the big thing is injuries. Obviously, Kevin De Bruyne is out until the new year, I believe. But all it takes is for more players like Bernardo Silva, Jack Grealish, John Stones, even Mateo Kovacic to reach the treatment room. And I think that things can start to unravel for Pep Guardiola's men. Obviously, he still has fit players like Mateus Nunes, Phil Foden, Calvin Phillips. You remember Calvin Phillips, right? No, he plays soccer still sometimes.
Yeah, I remember him.
Like 30 minutes a season. So he's still got players like that. But at the end of the day, he's got to make sure that he keeps people healthy. So I think that's what's going to be the big thing keeping City in the title race, is staying healthy.
You think he'll have a full squad out there against Nottingham, or will he rest your usual starters?
Honestly, after the Champions League, you would think he might start some people, right? I mean, look, again, Silva, Grealish, Stones, and Kovacic are injured. They're not going to feature. So is De Bruyne. That's a big group right there. It's a big group of players to not be fit. So he doesn't have any other choice but to sit people out. I know I worded it before that Grealish and Stones and Kovacic and Bernardo were healthy and they can't get hurt. But what I meant to say was that they are unhealthy. They're hurt right now. So that's going to be hurting City. So they have to get through this game. I think this is going to be the kind of game where they're going to have to scrape through.
I mean, we say that like almost every week, but then they just make it look so easy. Like they go, even in the middle of the week in the Champions League, they went down and then the second half started, they scored 2 quick ones. I feel like that happens in every City game. You can never count them out. They could score 2 or 3 goals within 5-10 minutes and the other team is just shocked. So I don't know about scrape by. I mean, their last few Premier League results, you would have expected them to won by a bigger margin or scored a lot earlier to make the game a little more comfortable. They did have some late winners. But overall, I think it's going to be pretty much a walk in the park for the most part.
I don't think it's going to be a walk in the park. I still think they're going to come out with the W, though. So that's what I'm settling on for that game. Next game, we got Brentford-Everton. Do we even touch this game?
Everton, I think this is the year they get relegated. And I think this is going to be one of those games where they lose and people say, wow, this really is the year. It's these games where they lose and you say to yourself, this is the year.
I actually disagree. I think they're going to get a result here. Brentford lost to Newcastle last week. I think they're kind of trending more down towards normal after they had a really hot start. I think Everton gets a result. Dare I say, I think Everton gets their first win of the season.
Now that is a hot take.
And I think that Sean Dyche is going to just unleash Beto, their new signing, who's been playing well. I think he's going to lead Sean Dyche's men to a nice victory here, especially after big news here, that 777 Partners, who is an investment group who invest in soccer teams / world football teams, are now in an agreement to buy the club, which I think will be huge going forward for them. But it begs the question, Everton are now going to be part of a multi-club model, a multi-club network of teams. Now, I know I'm kind of going on a tangent here, but I just want to list out the portfolio of 777 Partners, because they are another group that has soccer teams. So I'm gonna list them for you right now. Why can't I find it? There we go. It's an interesting one. Genoa we mentioned them in our episode, actually. Genoa in Italy, Sevilla, they own Sevilla, Standard Liège in Belgium, Melbourne Victory in Australia, Vasco da Gama, a very historical team in Brazil, and last but not least, Red Star FC, which is a team in the lower divisions of France, not to be confused with Red Star Belgrade. So those are the teams that they own, and they're now in an agreement to buy Everton. So this could be good news this week for Everton, in that they're going to get rid of their old ownership, who obviously the fans have a huge issue with. And more good news, obviously they're going to have a new stadium to be moving into soon, but that's not new news. And then the next thing is, I think they're going to get their first win. Look, Beto looks like a very astute signing from Udinese, and he's been playing well lately. I believe he scored on his debut. Don't quote me on it, though. And their underlying numbers suggest that they should be doing better than they actually have been doing. So you would think that they do better for this game week. So I'm going with an Everton win, 2-1.
Wow.
No need for the awkward silence.
Wow. I'm going to double down. On Brentford after what you just
Double
said.
down?
This team is falling apart.
No way.
This team will be falling apart until maybe the winter transfer window.
Why, they have to buy someone to not fall apart?
Pretty much. They need that influx of cash.
I disagree. I don't know if the purchase is gonna be done by then. It might be done. But I back Beto to beat the bees. That's what I'm going for here. So that is Everton versus Brentford. Now, next game. Your boys, Burnley versus Manchester United, fresh off of, by the way, we're speaking to you now on the Thursday, right after Andre Onana absolutely capitulated and helped, I guess you could say helped Bayern Munich score some easy goals en route to a Manchester United loss. Can Onana bounce back this weekend? That's the question, against newcomers Burnley. Now, Vincent Kompany has a pretty good history against Manchester United. You think that's going to continue now that he's a manager?
Your first question, I do not think Onana will bounce back. I think he will not have a clean game, as to say, even if he doesn't concede, he will not have a clean game. He'll be very shaky. But I do see Man United conceding in this game, and Vincent Kompany's streak as a manager now will not continue as it did when he was a player. I can see Man United getting a result, just on the attack, outscoring the opposition. But I can see Burnley tucking one away, so I'm going to say 3-1 Man United.
Now, I will say that Burnley definitely performed much better against Nottingham Forest last week, even though, well, it wasn't really last week, it was Monday. Even though I think Nottingham Forest dominated, Burnley still played good. And actually, very interesting, something that I learned after watching the Burnley game from Monday is that they have a dual national on their team. I got you right now. He can represent a few nations. One of them is the United States, and he provided the assist for Burnley's goal. I got you right now. I'm gonna tell you who he is and what nations he can represent, because he hasn't been capped yet. All right, I got you right now. So for now, at least, he's technically an Italian international. His name is Luca Coglioscio. He was born in Norwalk, Connecticut. He played for Manhattan Kickers. Which is a local team for us. We played Manhattan. Dude, you remember ever playing Manhattan Kickers? We used to play them.
Yeah, we played them quite a few times.
Remember they have like an AC Milan looking badge almost. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah, we used to play them back in the day, which is kind of funny. 2012 to 2016, he was there. It says here he moved to some team Royce in the Segunda division. Interesting, and then ended up at Espanyol. From Espanyol, this season, he moved to Burnley, where he's been playing pretty good. He looks very fast, good player. Now, he was in the U.S. system for a little bit. Since 2023, he's been Italy under Italy Youth International. But get this boy can represent the United States, Canada, Nigeria, and Italy, as he was raised in the United States to a Nigerian father and an Italian-Canadian mother. That's wild.
United Nations.
That's actually what it is. From basically, New York metro area too, because basically Connecticut, Norwalk, Connecticut, play for Manhattan Kickers. That's New York metro. So yeah. I mean, look, he, I think. Maybe big Greg Berhalter can get on the phone and start putting in some work, because he looked pretty good on Monday. He looked fast, raw, but he's still young. He's only 19 years old, mind you. Forgot to mention that he's 19. Yeah, so I think Greg needs to put in some work, because we got to start recruiting some good players here at the U.S., because we need better. We always need better players, because the LeBron James of soccer, he can't go for that long, right?
I don't think he goes for that long, but let's hear your pick. Stop beating around the bush here.
Well, I think Man U's going to walk it. I think they're going to win like 3-0. Because I think they're like due a result. So that concludes the Saturday games. But speaking of some fun results, this is what we got going. The North London Derby. Huge opportunity here for either Arsenal to cement themselves as title challengers and knock down their North London rivals, a couple notches, because it seems like Tottenham fans have been getting a little too excited so far this season. And the other opportunity is for Tottenham fans to cement themselves as, legitimate top 6, top 4 contenders and candidates for the season. I think whoever wins this game, I think a draw basically is where we learn, not that we learn nothing, but I don't think a draw does anyone good unless they're afraid of basically what would happen if they lose, if that makes sense. Because I think a win for either team is massive for the rest of the season.
I happen to agree with you on a win being massive for either club. Although, I think Tottenham have just been playing so much better. Their ball playing has just come so natural. It seems like they haven't had any late game winners like Arsenal having to, sweat it out. I think we're going to see a 2-2 draw in this game, and I think Arsenal falls behind in this title race.
I would love nothing but for Arsenal to lose this game. But I can see what you're saying about a draw being bad for Arsenal, because, arguably, right, Arsenal has the higher expectation. No, not arguably. Obviously, Arsenal has the higher expectations of the two teams, right?
Yes, they're home. They're
home also. And, this whole season, or so far, this whole preseason, and even last year when they bottled it, we've been hearing about how Arsenal are title contenders. So these are the games that they have to be winning. You have to be winning the North London Derby. These are big points. These are good teams. You have to beat the good teams if you're going to win the title. You can't just beat up on the bad teams. And I agree with you again. I don't think Arsenal has performed that well. I think they're a bit lucky to have the points that they do so far. I would love to see a little slip up from Arsenal here, just so, fans could be knocked down a couple of pegs.
They're also coming off a European game in the middle of the week, whereas Tottenham is fully rested.
Tottenham is fresh. And
you can see that intensity maybe wear on Arsenal later in the game, which may benefit Tottenham if the game is close.
Here's the question. So you said 2-2 draw?
I did.
Who comes out happier with that result?
Has to be Tottenham.
It has to be Tottenham. Yeah, I
Going
agree.
away in a derby match early on against second favorites to win the title, and you come out with a draw. I think that would make the players even bigger believers in Ange Ball at that point.
And I mean, it depends on how the other results go for the other matches, and we're going to get to those. But Tottenham could cement themselves in second place with this result, because currently they are second.
Yeah, they could be in second, but they're also tied with a certain team called Liverpool,
which we're going to get to.
Depending on what they do, could jump into second.
Well, yeah, and we're gonna get to that. So yeah, you know what? I'm gonna go with a draw as well. A high scoring draw. I think it'll be a high scoring affair. I'm gonna go 3-3. It's gonna be a fun one. I hope it's gonna be a fun one. Speaking of fun ones, fresh off of a devastating result against the mighty AEK Athens, champions of Greece, we have Burnley.
Brighton.
Wow, that's how they played against AEK, honestly. We have Brighton and Hove Albion playing Bournemouth. Bournemouth fresh off of a good result for them. They managed to get a clean sheet and draw against the almighty 13th place
relegation contenders
Chelsea. So yeah, I think that this is a good opportunity for Brighton to get another good result, but I'm going to go with a but here. We keep picking Brighton to win games. They cannot win every game. They're going to have to stumble. Here are things that I saw in the Bournemouth versus Chelsea game that I think could give Brighton some problems. Bournemouth are very fast on the transition. They were super open against Chelsea for some unknown reason. I don't know why. The game was very open. If they could stay a little bit tighter, or I should say, if they can harass and harrow the Brighton defense and put them under pressure and also be ready to pounce on the counterattack, I think that they can cause Brighton problems. This Bournemouth team is not a bad team. I did not have them being relegated for the reason that I think that they've improved their squad. They're getting money injected into them via Bill Foley. And I think overall, with the signings that they've made, I think that they're going to be better off. And I think they look good. I think Dominic Solanke is a very underrated striker in the league. I really like how he plays. And I'm not just saying that because he's a former Chelsea youth product. I thought that he was great against Chelsea. Probably should have had a goal against Chelsea as well, if not for a huge save from Robert Sanchez. It's nice to have a goalie who doesn't have T-Rex arms. And yeah, so I think that Bournemouth are going to give trouble to Brighton. I'm going to go with a draw here. Oh, and European nights for Brighton. Obviously, they could not handle hosting Greek people. I mean, I can't blame them, but...
they won... In all comps, they won 3 out of their last 5.
Talking about Brighton?
Yeah, talking about Brighton.
They can't win them all.
I mean, they did lose to West Ham. They lost to AEK in the middle of the week in the Europa League.
Demetri is very excited about that result, by the way, because he is an AEK Athens fan.
But I think they will be able to get a result in this game, and I see them winning 2-0. I think the winning streak in the Prem will continue.
Comfortable win for the Seagulls. Okay, I like it. That brings us to the game of the week. We got the almighty Aston Villa, fresh off of their European Conference League campaign, in which they also lost to Legia Warsaw. 3-1 was the score. And we have Chelsea fresh off of a disappointing 0-0 draw against Bournemouth. I'm gonna let you take this one. You take it.
Well, they lost 3-2. They lost 3-2.
Oh, they lost 3-2
Warsaw.
to
Yes.
Legia Warsaw.
But I mean, if I take this, we're going straight into the depths of hell, where Chelsea belong. You know, I said it last week. Chelsea wasn't going to get a win. I'll say it again. Chelsea is not winning this game. I think the struggle will continue. You're going to see a team that just can't seem to put it together. And I just think it's going to be another heart-wrenching game. And you're just going to be devastated again. 1-1. More drop points, but in this case, guess 1 point more to avoid a relegation.
Chelsea were very disappointing last weekend. Let's just say I was not very happy. Screaming expletives.
You guys have a whole squad on the
on my TV.
Injury list, I see.
Yeah, over a whole squad. We even have a subs bench now for it. Injuries have been a huge issue for this Chelsea team, underperforming. We have not been able to put things together. We have not been able to score goals. It's disappointing. I'm hoping that a win comes soon, but at this point, I think I think this last result really killed me because Bournemouth was there for the taking. They're very open. And this left back Colwill thing continues. I think that Mudryk was very bright in the 60 minutes that he played. I wish that he played more, but I don't think he's completely match fit yet. But I liked having him there better than having Ben Chilwell. And Mudryk should have had like 2 assists in the first half, like within like the first like 30 minutes. I thought that he played very well. Conor Gallagher missed not a sitter, but it was a chance he should have scored within like the first 5 minutes or 10 minutes with like Mudryk taking on his man 1v1. So there's things there to like. Caicedo seems to be hurt, so that's another guy on the injury list. It's not looking too good for the Blues right now. I think going forward, when I'm predicting Chelsea matches, I'm just going to go for a nice 3-0 loss every single time. How does that sound? Aston Villa, by the way, are fresh off their European campaign, so this is a good test for them to see if they could handle the rigors of Europe. They were in Poland, correct?
Yes.
Not an easy trip, so this is a good test for them to see if they can cope, if they can handle the European nights, and then basically Thursday and then playing immediately on the Sunday is not easy, especially when they're not used to it. So this will be a good test for them, and it'll be a good test for Chelsea's reserves to see if they can, scrape a win and finally get a result, because it's not looking too good right now. The vibes are low, or fans are not happy. So I'm gonna go with a 3-0 Chelsea loss. They can't score goals. They could keep clean sheets, but they can't score goals. What do we got next?
Next game, Liverpool versus West Ham.
Oh, this is a big match. This is a big match.
Take it away.
You want me? Oh, you want me to take it away?
Take it away.
Okay. All right, we got Liverpool versus West Ham. 5-0 Liverpool. No, I'm just kidding. Alexander-Arnold is hurt, by the way. We also have suspension for Virgil van Dijk. Correct?
Don't see that here.
FootMob says that he's available, but I don't think he is. I'm pretty sure he's still suspended. Like, I'm very pretty sure. Oh no, he is going to be available. Okay. So Virgil van Dijk is back. West Ham, I think, are going to continue to drop. I think that Liverpool will continue to do well. And with that, I'm going to go with a 1-1 draw.
Really?
Yeah.
A 1-1 draw.
West Ham gave Man City issues last week. Did they not?
They did early on, but I don't
Liverpool
see it.
is not Man City.
Yeah, but that doesn't transfer week over week.
Yes, but Liverpool's not Man City.
Liverpool's going to give them goals. Mo Salah's going to score. I mean, watching Darwin in the Europa League he's awful. he struggles to score. He gets so many chances, just can't score. So, I mean, if he's missing, if he misses a million chances, I could see Liverpool dropping points. But for the most part, I could see Mo Salah tucking 1 or 2 in. By the way, West Ham haven't kept a clean sheet in their last 15 matches. So it's safe to say that Liverpool will score, and I can see them scoring plenty.
It's also safe to say that West Ham will score.
Who's going to score for West Ham?
Antonio.
Is he going to score 3 goals?
Mavropanos.
Is he? That's false.
If he might start.
Are they going to score 3 goals?
Zuma was terrible last game. So was Agard.
Are they going to score 3 goals?
No.
Liverpool's taking this one.
Also, how do you know they're not going to score 3 goals?
I just know. I'm the expert.
You're the expert.
I'm the expert.
All right. I'm asking
4-1 Liverpool.
4-1 Liverpool? No way. It's not going to be 4-1 Liverpool. Nah, I'm not buying that. And also, you want an answer for who's going to score for West Ham? James Ward-Prowse, baby. Free kick. Lucas Paqueta. Oh, Mohamed Kudus.
It's going to go from 4-0 to 4-1.
To 4-4. Jared Bowen.
Is it going to go 3-pointer?
Jared Bowen. Mohamed Kudus scored today for West Ham in their European game.
They were playing Polish farmers.
Were they playing a Polish team too?
Oh, sorry.
West Ham.
No, I think they were playing a Serbian team.
All right, Demetri thinks it's gonna be overwhelming. I'm still going 1-1 draw. That's what I'm going for. We have one more match left, right?
Yes, we have Sheffield United versus Newcastle.
Our 2 favorite teams. Now, I don't know why there are 2 favorite teams, but what I will say is Newcastle will continue to struggle. Sheffield gave Man City issues early on in the year. They should have beat Tottenham. They collapsed in the last 10 minutes of the game in extra time. This one screams draw to me.
Really?
And I stand corrected. Tonali has not settled in. He doesn't look like he fits in well with Bruno. They look terrible in the Champions League. They were lucky to come away with a draw because they were terrible. If AC Milan and Leao knew how to shoot the ball into the back of the net, we'd be talking about how Newcastle were humiliated on their first European night in decades. I think Newcastle were terrible. And I think that they're going to have a tough time against Sheffield United. Sheffield United have not been pushovers so far. They were unlucky not to get a result against Tottenham. And I think this is going to be a draw.
Wow, you're doing Newcastle a favor here, giving them a draw.
You think they're going to lose?
I think they're going to lose. Looking at their previous 5 results, Newcastle has only scored 3 goals in 5 games, all comps. And, like you said, Sheffield has been playing great, and I think they're going to break this trend. They haven't won at home in their last 6 matches. So I think this time around, they're going to get a 2-1 win over Newcastle.
They got to get a win in front of the Blades fans. That makes sense. That's a good stat. That's a good stat to find. You got to win eventually, right? You got to win that game eventually.
You just have to, yeah.
And, yeah, I'm in agreement with that. Mamo. So, that concludes our Premier League predictions for Game Week 6. We're going to be doing this kind of stuff more often, maybe giving you some, how do I say it? We'll probably be doing a show where we do a full recap of all the matches later on, usually on the Monday after. But, Dimitri's lazy, so he didn't want to do it on Monday, so that's why we didn't do it.
I just want to say, I think you have 6 draws this weekend.
Have you been keeping count?
Yeah, I think you have Crystal Palace Fulham draw, Luton Wolves draw, Arsenal Tottenham draw, Brighton Bournemouth draw, Liverpool West Ham. You said
draw,
and then Sheffield Newcastle draw.
How many games are there?
There's 10 games and you have 6 draws.
I wonder how many times it's happened. That's probably happened before. 6 draws?
I mean, we'll see if it happens this weekend.
Yo, if that happens, whoo, woo, 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 you gotta start calling me the expert. You have to start calling me the expert. Oh man, 6 draws. Wow, I haven't done myself. I'd feel like draws are just a cop-out answer, right? Low key, is low key a cop-out answer.
I mean, but if you're right, you're the expert.
I am the expert. If I'm right, that's true. That's true. Demetri is keeping track, so we're gonna keep track of all of our predictions now, which I love. I love. He's a stat man, you know. That's what he does. He has a real job. So, so those are our predictions for the game week. We're gonna be reacting to all these matches when I'm inevitably wrong about everything on Monday. So tune in for that. Expect episodes to come out every Tuesday and Friday going forward when it comes to this stuff. Just when it comes to the Premier League stuff. And we'll probably do previews of the Champions League, which will be like a separate episode. But that'll just be separate stuff. So with that in mind, thank you for joining us on this beautiful journey where we talk about absolute nonsense when it comes to the Premier League. This was the Line Breaker, predicting the results, previewing Game Week 6 for the Premier League. My name is Pano.
I'm Demetri, aka Juicy.
And we're out of here.